Hi everybody, and welcome again to Campbell's Math Corner, where we have been looking at solving equations. Now if you miss the previous two videos, then again you can check the description for the link for those two videos. Now this is basically a part 3 of solving equations. Now, today in particular we are going to be looking at solving multi-step equation that involves a distributive property combining like terms and inverse operations. Alright, so let's get into it. So again, these are just a few steps that can be a guide in helping us to solve multi-step equation. But the first thing you want to do is use a distributive property to remove the brackets. And if we don't know what the distributive property is, then don't worry, we'll do a quick recap on that. Then we want to combine any like terms to get the equation in two steps form. Now remember the previous video, that one was on two steps equations, so we should know what that is about. And thirdly, we want to solve by using inverse operations, just as we did in dealing with the two steps equations. So we undo addition or subtraction first, and then undo multiplication or division. Alright, so let's do a quick review on simplifying by using the distributive property. Now if you don't know, or if you don't remember what the distributive property is, it states that we should multiply everything inside the parentheses, meaning the brackets. So whatever is inside the brackets, we multiply that by the term that's directly outside. So if here we have a and in bracket we have b plus c, it means we're going to be multiplying a times b and then a times c, and that's a positive ac. Likewise, a times b, that will give us ab minus a times c, and that's ac. So that's a distributive property. And here's an example. So we're going to take that negative 3 and multiply it by the x inside the bracket as well as that positive 5 inside the bracket. So negative 3 times x, that's negative 3x, and negative 3 times a positive 5, that's a negative 15. And that's it. Look at this one. So here we have negative 7, so we're going to multiply that by negative 2a, that will give us negative 14a, and then multiplying a negative times a negative, that will give us a positive. 7 times 4, that's 28. So that's the distributive property, just so we can remember what the distributive property is. Alright, let's look at combining like terms. Now it's very important now we are able to identify like terms. So again, let's do a quick recap on that. So like terms must have the same variables and the same powers on the letters, meaning whatever terms that we have, if for them to be like terms, they must be raised to they must have the same variable or the same letter raised to the same power. So let's combine like terms by adding or subtracting. So example 1, 3x plus 5 minus 7x plus 9. I'm sure you can identify the like terms there. Here we have a 3x and we have a minus 7x. So combining those two terms will give us negative 4x, and combining 5 plus 9 will give us a positive 14. As you can see, negative 4x plus 14, there is no other like terms, so that can't be simplified any further. Example 2, 3 minus 6y minus 7 minus 9y. Combining the like terms here, 3 minus 7, that will give us negative 4, negative 6 minus 9y. Combining those will give us a negative 15y. Good? Alright, so let's get into solving these equations. Now to the left, what I did was, well, you can see the rules there just for a reminder. So we use a distributive property first, and we only use a distributive property when there's brackets. So we have to remove brackets first. How do we do that? Since the 2 is directly outside the bracket, then that's what we're going to use and multiply each term inside the bracket. So we're going to take that 2 and multiply it by 2x. That will give us 4x. And then 2 times -1, that will give us a -2. And then just simply bring back down the 3x and the 33 from up top. Now if you notice, we have 3x plus 4x minus 2 equals 33. What's the next rule? Combine like terms. So by looking, we realize that we have like terms here, 3x and 4x. So if we should combine those, that will give us 7x minus 2 equals 33. And if you notice, our equation is now in the form of a two-step equation. So we know that we're going to add 2 to both sides. Since we're subtracting 2, we'll do the opposite, which is to add 2. Add 2 to both sides will give us 7x equals 35. And then, since we're multiplying by 7, we're going to be doing the opposite of multiplying by 7, which is to divide by 7. Therefore, x is equal to 5. Not bad, huh? Alright, let's look at another example. Here we have 3x, or 3, and in bracket we have x minus 2, close bracket, plus 4x equals 8. Again, use the distributive property first. So using the distributive property, 3 multiplied by x will give us 3x, and 3 times -2, that's -6. Then we write back our plus 4 equals 8. Check to see if there's any like term. Yes, we have a like term. We have 3x, and over there we have a plus 4x. So we combine those, and that will give us 7x minus 6 equals 8. As you can see, again, it's in the form of a two-step equation, and since we have 7x minus 6 equals 8, we need to undo that minus 6 by adding 6 to both sides. That will now give us 7x equals 14, and then we divide both sides by 7. So x equals 14 divided by 7, which is 2. Alright, here's another one. Looks a little bit tricky, but it's the same procedure. So again, parentheses, use a distributive property. Using the distributive property means we're going to be multiplying not just 4 but -4 by each term inside the bracket. So -4 times -2y, that will give us a positive 8y. Again, -4 times -3, that will give us a positive 12. Just copy the rest of the problem and then we have -4y minus 5 plus 8y plus 12 plus 8 equals 3. Combining all the like terms, we have -4y plus 8y. Notice there's a plus next to the 8y. So we combine those, that will give us 4y. Then we combine -5 plus 12 plus 8, and that will give us 15. So 4y plus 15 equals 3. Now since we're adding 15, we undo that by subtracting 15 from both sides. That will now leave us with 4y equals 3 minus 15, that's -12. Then we divide both sides by 4. So -12 divided by +4, again dividing a negative times a positive by a positive will give us a negative. So the answer is -3. Alright, so here's one for you to try. So again, pause the video and try. Alright, let's see what we have come up with. Now this one looks a little bit tricky, right? Okay, so even though you're not seeing a number outside the bracket or a term outside the bracket, whenever we don't see a number, it means then that number is or an invisible one. So think of negative as a -1. So using the distributive property, it will be -1 times a positive 9x, that's a -9x. Then multiplying a -1 times a -2 will give us a +2. Then we just bring back what we had before, so that's -5x plus 3 minus 9x plus 2 plus 7 equals 96. Check to see if there's any like term and combine. So we have a -5x and a -9x. If we should combine those, that will give us a -14x. Then we will combine the other like term, which is a 3 plus 2 plus 7, and that gives us 12 equals 96. Then next step is to subtract 12 from both sides, leaving us with -14x equals 84. Then we divide both sides by -14. Dividing a positive by a negative now will give us a negative answer, and x is -6. So even though the steps are a little bit lengthy, they're pretty much straightforward. So we use the distributive property, then we combine like terms, and then we solve for x or whatever the variable is. Alright, so that brings us to the end of solving multi-step equations. So you see it's pretty much straightforward. So again, thanks for watching. Continue to look out for the videos. There will be another one coming on solving equations. Yes, we're on a roll with solving equations. Students have been asking about this one, so I'm trying to cover as much equations as possible. So again, I thank you for watching. Continue to comment. Again, whatever topics you want me to look at, feel free to drop those in the comments, and continue to share. And yeah, so until next time, take care.